Okay, that's a good way to start this one. Should I leave that in? I'll probably leave that in, assuming my camera still works. Oh boy. Oh crap. Hi YouTube. I am Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. That hot mess of me knocking over a camera is as good a way as any is to start this week's video. You ever have one of those days where you're like, oh, comic book can don't do no wrong. They're amazing. They're a true art form. They're fantastic, and everything is great about them, and I love them. And like, there's reasons why I read them. Yeah, that's today's not one of those days. This is April 28th is when I'm recording this. It's my weekly comic book review. These are the comics I read this week. And there's a lot of in this list. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a mood. Maybe I'm salty because I just knocked over my camera. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not actually in a bad mood, so I don't know what's going on. But this is my comic book review. It's probably going to be staticky, knowing how my life has been going lately, so if it's staticky, so be it. All right, let's get into this. Worst to best, here we go. Helm Greycastle. Gorgeous art by Valenza. I'm not going to open it and look at the first name. It's a fantasy book. First, I don't know if it's tied into something. I don't know. Okay. You ever, like, play Dungeons & Dragons and you're like, wow, this is kind of a badly written adventure and it makes no sense? If not, you might be a little lost to the reference, but that's kind of what this book feels like. It just feels like you're like watching somebody else play Dungeons and Dragons and you don't know what's going on. Kind of okay. There's a show Critical Role on YouTube. It's pretty famous and popular, and these people, voice actors play Dungeons and Dragons. If you take one of their videos, fast forward about halfway into it, and start watching, you'll be lost, and it'll be kind of like this. I don't know what the hell's going on in this book. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Art's cool. There's Mayan Mexican gods in here. There's regular fantasy, regular European-ish influenced fantasy. It sort of meshes. It just doesn't, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just me, but this just did not make a lot of sense. Next, Erratic number 5. This is the end of the first story arc. I gave this book way, way too many chances. It was average throughout. Pretty verbose. The verbosity, look at that. I think that's a real word. You should probably look it up and let me know in the comments down below if that's a real word. It's cut down in this issue, but it's still, I don't know. It's, yeah. It's fine. It's the end of the arc. It's the end of volume 1. Erratic, his kid has powers 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. It's never really quite clear. And again, this wrap-up is just not clear. You're like, what in the hell is going on? So that's 2 for 2 where I'm lost. All right, MODOK Head Games. I wanted to put this higher. I really did. It's Bloom and Patton Oswalt writing, and I really liked the series up until this book. This book is just, it's a blah ending to the thing. It's kind of like they had this lot of ramp up, a lot of like potential, a lot of like story setup. Yeah, words they're hard, people. Story setup, and it just fizzled in this. I don't know. Yeah, it's not the direction I would have taken this story personally. It's not the direction I hoped it was going to go. There were, first appearances maybe that in this series that really are not maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of maybes going on in this one. I feel like the art even took a step backwards this time. I just didn't care for it. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, speaking of which, being lost. 3 books that I'm kind of lost in now. Marvel's number 1. Kurt Busiek, with art by Yildiray Cinar. I'm butchering that one, I'm sure. Art's fine. Story, Marvel's was sort of, the original series that I remember reading was, New York through the eyes of a photographer that happened to be in the real world, where there's superheroes in the real world. This is sort of, I think, in the same kind of universe, still Marvel. I don't know. It's Kurt Busiek. I'm going to give him more chances. This one has just kind of seemed like it was all over the place. And timeline-wise, it was all over the place. But there was no, thing at the end to really be like, yep, that's what's going on now. And so you normally when they have flash forwards and flashbacks and flash everything else as a storytelling device in an issue, they somewhat give you a clue as to what the absolute hell's going on by the end of it, and they really didn't. So I don't know. I'm just, again, it's a baffling week for comics for me. But I will keep with it because I trust Kurt Busiek enough to give him a couple more chances. So, Teen Titans Academy 2. This is better than the first issue, but still not fantastic. They should just really read Strange Academy and copy that model. I don't know. There's a lot of first appearances in these books, but like no character development really. Well, not no. They're developing one character, which I think is kind of smart. They're like drilling down and focusing on a character, but whether or not they stick with this character until the next issue, it's unclear. There's still a big, like, who the hell is Ted X or Red X or whatever the hell character I don't give a shit about. That mystery is unsolved. And, like, see all these other characters? They're probably in the book, but, like, very little development about any of them. And the tone just doesn't seem quite right for the book. It's just kind of, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have the sort of, like, I think playfulness you need for, like, a young school book. Maybe playfulness is the wrong word, but it's just, I don't know. Just, again, I can't put my finger on it, but, like, there's still something off about this. Better than the first issue. I'll read the third. That might be the cutoff for me. We will see. Berserker number 2. This is Keanu. Look, sad Keanu. Being sad. A co-writer with Matt Kint and Harper Ron Garney. Ron Garney's still doing his best to look like John Romita Jr., and it's okay for the art. This book, this took a step back from the first issue. The first issue is fun, action-packed, bloody, gory, everything you want in an over-the-top action comic, and this is backstory. It's like, oh, okay, now we get to learn the sad history of the character and why he wants to die. I wanted to die after reading this. I didn't. That's an over exaggeration. No, that's not even a real word, is it? It's an exaggeration. Yeah, it's fine. It's middle ground. It's not awful, but like the first issue really had me expecting more, and this issue just doesn't quite deliver on that. It's just kind of I don't know. This really is kind of a sad Keanu issue. Darth Vader, Star Wars Z number 11. This is where, I don't know, plot-wise, wraps up one of the arcs, and Darth Vader's going against the Emperor, which we know won't last, but it's fun. This is a fun book. Fun and harmless, and in the end, like, since Darth's story's already been written, this is the filler in the middle, and the filler in the middle, it's not bad. It's just kind of, Greg Pak's doing his best to try and tie it into the movies and the canon, and it's working. It's just, it's middle of the road. All right, speaking of books that had a bit of a letdown, let's do it this order. All right. Donny Cates, crossover number 6. Jeff Shaw. This is the end of the first arc. They're taking 2 months off after this, and then Chip Zdarsky's coming and taking an arc. A lot of fan service, a lot of like cameo characters in here from a lot of creators, and sort of like Donny Cates flexing, this, where he's like, "Oh, I know this guy," and like they gave me the permission to use this character in one scene, and yeah, it's okay. It's kind of predictable. It's kind of blah. It didn't stick the landing like that. The premise of the arcs thus far, there's like a ramp up, and a fizzle. And this is the fizzle issue. It's a lot of battle and stuff going on in the background, and a lot of battle actually is sort of in the foreground, but it just doesn't. The payoff's not there. And it's not the end of the thing, obviously, because Zdarsky's going to come over and take over the next arc. I have faith. I have hope that Zdarsky is going to kind of right this ship, because it was a downer of an issue for me, and it just kind of like, well, that's it. All right. Yeehaw. Alrighty then. But I'll keep reading, because I trust Zdarsky. And, I mean, I'm still interested enough to, like, even if Cates was still writing it, I'd still keep reading it for a bit, but, like, the issue just didn't do a lot for me. Beta Ray Bill, number 2. I love Beta Ray Bill. Probably my favorite character of all time. Up there, if you don't know me, top 5. I really like the first issue. This issue is okay. It sort of went from an introspective, sad take on Beta Ray, which I kind of enjoyed, and he's still sad in this, but, like, it also now is sort of like a buddy cop drama. Dramedy? Comedy? Like one of those 80s action comedy buddy cop. You all get it. My audience is all 40s to 50s. I think 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. It's sort of that, but with Beta Ray Bill and Scourge from Asgard and Pip the Troll. The payoff might be great. There's like what they're setting up to do sounds like just a kind of cool, fun story, which it's going from like mopey, introspective to like trying to also tie in just kind of cool grandness. Not sure it all works, but I'm along for the ride. I like Daniel Warren Johnson's art quite a bit. I like his take on the physicality of Beta Ray Bill, and the story's fine. It's just kind of I had great hopes after the first issue, and this is it's decent. It's just not quite backed up there yet. It does have potential, and like it is a ridiculous character in a ridiculous universe doing ridiculous things. I have hope that like the next issue is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see. All right, probably a pleasant surprise of the week that I actually forgot I put on my pull list, and I don't even know why I did. Honestly, I have no idea why I did, because this character really doesn't interest me. It's the Robin, but it was in my pull box, so I must have at some point told him, hey, I wanted it, or maybe there's a spec first appearance. There's probably some first appearances in here. Legion of Lazarus or League of Lazarus or something of Lazarus. So pick it up if you want, whatever that is. Yeah, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Robin is going off to do his own thing, and Bruce Wayne's a little bit sad about it at the beginning, and then it doesn't appear ever again in the rest of the issue. And Robin's like trying to join up with this tournament of the League of Lazarus and fight a bunch of people, and he's cocky and confident and kind of a douche all at the same time, and sort of like the Damian Wayne character is kind of a douche and cocky and confident. I like the new costume. Kind of plays homage to the Robin King outfit that character never went anywhere with DC. But yeah, not bad at all. The ending, there's a surprise ending on this one where you're like, huh, well, I guess I have to read the next one now. See what happens. What order are we doing these in? Yeah, this will work. Department of Truth number 7, 8, number 8. The regular artist is back on the title, and it's fitting again. And I didn't mind the filler artist and the backstory with Lee Javier Oswald and or Jack Ruby, whatever. Remembering names of people that killed people is hard. But yeah, this is back to the like sort of vague storytelling of this, where it's like playing with the audience a bit as well as playing with the main character, where you're never sure if the main character's on the right side. He doesn't know if he's on the right side of everything, or whether or not he's doing the right thing. And this really starting to play into that aspect of the story. Whereas the Department of Truth either deciding what is truth versus protecting truth, and then there's a distinction there. And I think the Cole Turner, the main guy, is going to have to figure out whether or not he wants to work for the Department of Truth or against the Department of Truth. I've got a feeling at some point he's going to shift allegiances, because it wouldn't be a comic book without that. But yeah, it's got some horror elements. It's got some vague, vague backstory elements in here as well. This is probably a little bit of a filler issue, but it's decent. This is the decent part. There's nothing grand this week, but we're into the decent territory. Like Nuclear Family number 3. Number 2 was great. Number 1 was a fantastic setup. Number 2 was better. Number 3 is okay. It's fine. It feels like you're kind of trapped in the vault in Fallout 76, or the Fallout games now. It's like, oh, okay. Yep, this is what happens now that the family's in with this protected thing. It's 1968. 10 years have somehow been lost, and they're trying to figure that out. And whether or not the main characters are Russian super spies is kind of a mystery. The whole thing is kind of vague, and you don't know what's really going on yet. I'm along for the ride on this. It's not bad. It's just kind of, again, nothing this week really grabbed me as super fantastic. The art is solid by Tony Sistine, and the story's solid. It's just kind of one of those, I really want the next issue now, because this issue didn't have quite enough for me to sink my teeth into. Shadow Service number 7. I feel like I really just reviewed last week's number 6. I think I did. I'm not sure if they came out that way or if it's just I missed one and they finally were able to get a back issue in my box. I think that's what really happened, and I just wasn't paying attention as to when it really dropped. This is solid. Shadow Service has been solid from the get-go. It's one of my favorite ongoing indie series, Vault Comics. Scott, I can't remember the first name, and Howell and Farrell. The art's the great. It's sort of the female character kind of reminds me of a female John Constantine, but not quite as snarky, not quite as dastardly. There is a bit of that to her character, and you're learning a little bit of the backstory in here. This is kind of sort of a filler issue where you learn the character's backstory. It's a necessary backstory, I think. And, you know, allegiance is shifting, and am I 6? Am I 16? Am I... whatever, the mystical, made-up thing dealing with mystical problems, and... yeah, it's spies. It's magic. It's magic and spies. What more do you want? All right, my book of the week, my favorite book this week, had a very kind of abrupt ending, and I'm still processing it. I still don't know if I like it. Yeah, which is kind of odd for me to make it my book of the week then, I guess, but it is. Dead End Kids, Suburban Job, number 4. Friendship, coming together. Does tragedy help bind you? Does tragedy, you know, like, how do people react to it? There's a bank heist, or kind of a money heist in here, and it's kind of a reverse one. Character study more than anything else. Yeah, I really like this. It's just going to take me a little while to process it. The art is solid. Kavita, I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to try. I butchered that last name badly. The writing, also solid. It's just kind of like an unexpected ending. Kind of abrupt. Kind of like, what the hell? And I'm still in the what the hell. But it's a what the hell that's made me think. And like, versus this pile of everything else where like, nothing else really was like, I got to think about that for a bit. I'll think about it for a bit this week. And sometimes that's all you can get out of it. Like, you're not every comic's going to be great, obviously. Not every week's going to be like, fantastic. But this book made me think. And it's going to take me a while to like process it. I might end up hating it. It might not end up like long-term really liking the way this arc ended up. The story's going to get continued. But this is the wrap-up of this arc, of the Suburban Job arc. Yeah. I wish I could say more about it, but I don't want to spoil it. And pick it up if you want. You can probably wait for a trade on this one. If you've not hunted it down by now, the first issues are probably pretty hard to come by anyways. Not huge print runs on these. So, trade's probably your best bet. All right, guys. That'll do it for me this week. It was, yeah, not the best week for comics, sadly. Nothing truly awful. Well, no, I take that back. I mean, the art again on this is great, but yeesh. Yeah, all right. That's enough rambling. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know if you think I'm nuts. And like, as always, feel free to argue in the comments. I appreciate it. We can bicker. We could dicker. We could bicker. Bicker? Whatever. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. All that stuff. It really helps. I've got a few extra followers this week. I appreciate it. On the road to 1K. It's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long, sad, lonely road. But I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just filling the time because the 4 of you that are still watching, I love you deeply, madly, truly. Have a good day. Do not be a dick. At all. Just don't be a dick. See ya.